Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Thursday, February the 6th, 2025. Thursday, February the 6th. Well, Willow absolutely did move out. She moved her hiney right on out of that house. But we will get to Willow in a bit. Alexis and Christina and Molly tell Danny. And of course, you know, he's upset, rightfully so, trying to wrap his head around it. Who would do that to his mom? And he's just really like, oh my God, wait. And he goes, does Scout know? And Alexis says, I don't know. Do you think we should tell Scout? And he goes, no, she is too young to know this, right? And I'm like, Alexis, why would you even ask him? Do you think we should tell her? You should have said, you're the grandmother, you're the adult. Right now, I think Scout's too young. I don't even know if her father's been told, and if her father wants to tell her, that's his call. But we wanted to tell you, you know, so you don't hear it anywhere else. So then he goes, does my dad know? And Alexis looks, and I think Christina said, I don't think so. I don't think your dad knows. And so Danny says, well, when he comes back, he's got to be told, right? And so Alexis is just looking, and I'm thinking, see, Alexis, this is why Danny doesn't need to live with you. The way you want to shut Jason down, is just, I can't stand her. Now, you know what? This is a soap opera. I like Jason. Jason is one of my favorite. Actually, he is my favorite leading male on General Hospital. Jason works for the mob. Well, not so much anymore, but yes, he does. Jason's an assassin, killed plenty of people. So if we stop and we really think about it, in the real world, not in the Port Charles world, in the California world, because I live in California, y'all, you know that. If my grandson's father was a gangster, I would have my apprehensions as well. I really would. We honestly don't know what Sonny deals with. You notice they never said what. I think it's just gambling, but he doesn't gamble in Port Charles. His island, it's not against the law to gamble on his island. Sonny does other things. We just don't know what it is. Racketeering? What's racketeering? Yeah, I don't know what Sonny does. And if any of you in comment corner knows, please put Sonny does this. We know he does not deal in drugs and he does not deal in arms. And he doesn't do human trafficking. I don't know what Sonny does, aside from import coffee, right? So, but I was saying, back in the real world, I'd be a little nervous too if my grandchild were in that situation. Now, my daughter fully chose to get involved with my grandson's father, married him twice. So, you know what? You have to kind of let go of that because this is a choice she made. And then she made the choice to now want to distance herself and want her child distanced. And for the most part, the father agreed until she died. But what that doesn't do, that does not make my grandson, because this is hypothetical, now belong to me because he does have a father. And this father moved into the environment where the child is for the sake of that child. So Jason is doing the right things, right? Now Sonny could send him on a mission when he come home to go kill somebody, and hey, he just might. But it's like he told Sonny, look, I could take over the business for a short time, few weeks, while you know, get better, but I cannot take over this business full time. I've got Danny to think about. Okay. So he's still willing to get his hands a little dirty, Jason, but not full time. So after Chris Molly is gonna take Danny home, but they're gonna stop by and get a bite to eat first. So when she takes Danny home, she's gonna go down and see Cody for some strange reason. Watch. She's gonna go down to them stables. Lord knows why. But anyway, meanwhile at the house, Dante is pumping Chase for information. And Chase breaks confidential cop rule number 1. He tells Dante who the suspect is, even though Dante is not on the case, and Dante, in fact, has been put on leave. But guess who happens to be just around the corner, overhearing everything? Rocco. Rocco overhears it all. That the suspect is Cyrus Renault. So when Danny gets home, Danny is talking to Rocco and he goes, I just found out my mom was murdered. And Rocco says, I know, I just found out too. And he goes, how did you find out? He goes, I overheard my dad and Chase talking. And then he goes, do they have a suspect? And he goes, Chase says they do have a suspect, but it's not proven yet. And so Danny says, who's the suspect? And he goes, Cyrus Renault. We've got all these youngsters that's going to be trying to be junior cop, junior vigilantes. Cyrus could have clean picking because Jocelyn is the biggest idiot on the planet. She's talking to Brennan at Kelly's because, of course, he comes into Kelly's. And she couldn't wait. She goes to sit next to him, and he, she says, my mom says blah, blah, blah. And they have quick small talk. Then he goes, hey, did you make any he brings it up. Did you make any progress with, your investigation? And she goes, I've hit a dead end. And he goes, well, how? She goes, well, I got into Cyrus's room. And he didn't say, Jocelyn, that could have been very dangerous. What if Cyrus would have walked in on you? Nobody would have known you were there. That's not good. No, he sure doesn't say that. She goes, there was nothing. It was absolutely clean. Couldn't find anything. She goes, not that I know what I would be looking for. He goes, well, what you're looking for, you'll know it when you see it. Now, if I had half a brain, Jocelyn, I would have said, how do you know I'll know it when I see it? Do you know what it is? Right? And so he goes, a lot of times when a place is too squeaky clean, in my line of business, that usually means there's a secondary location that a person is operating out of. Do you know of any friends of Cyrus's? Any family? She goes, well, Mayor Collins wouldn't know anything, about a secondary location, and certainly not his brother Martin wouldn't know about a secondary location because they barely speak. And I'm like, how do you know, Jocelyn? How do you know? But okay. So he goes, Carly then walks in. And but before Carly walks in, she says, don't tell my mother. My mother has too much on her plate, too much to worry about than to worry about this. And he goes, understood. And then Cardi walks in and she's like, what are those two got their heads together, right? So she goes, what you guys? And Lucas was with her. And Lucas is suspicious of Cyrus, right? And so she goes, what are you two talking about? And Jocelyn says, oh, he was just telling me about the beautiful spas in, you know, wherever. And he goes, and Jack chimed in something about maybe the name. And she goes, oh yeah, they are beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And so she goes, Joss, do you mind if I talk to Jack for a minute? And she goes, oh, sure. I've got homework to get back to anyway. So she goes back to the counter because Kelly's is obviously slow. She's been studying it on the internet, trying to dig up stuff on Cyrus and not helping nobody. Okay, but all right. So Carly sits down and she goes, you didn't tell Jocelyn about what happened in Germany. And so he goes, well, I don't kiss and tell. She goes, not about that. And she's cheesing at him. Somebody said in Comic Corner, maybe it's today, I don't know if I'll get to it, but I read it, that Laura Wright is such a seasoned veteran. She can make chemistry with most actors. And I have to agree, except for she had to dig deep down, doggone deep, to make chemistry between her and Cameron Matheson because to me, they never had it. They never had chemistry. Okay. But I can see her getting chemistry with this new Brennan. I kind of see something there, right? I'm giving the guy a chance because they're getting ready to make him a bad guy. So anyway, she goes, no, not about that. About Valentine trying to kill you and me saving you. He goes, oh, yeah, no. I didn't mention that at all. She goes, I don't want Jocelyn to know anything. Jocelyn has enough on her plate with what happened to Dex, with what happened to Michael. He goes, no, I won't say a word. I'm thinking we got both of them telling this man, don't tell the other anything, right? And he just playing both ends against the middle. I just don't understand the Jocelyn angle he's got going on. But anyway, um, what's his name? Lucas. Jocelyn left to go back to study. Carly sits down and Lucas is still standing there. And Carly looks at him well? And he goes, oh, let me see if Jocelyn needs help studying. And he goes over and he finds Jocelyn very preoccupied. He's like, what are you doing? And she quickly comes and she goes, oh, Dr. Um, Gatlin Holt, Austin Gatlin Holt. And he goes, well, I wasn't at GH when he was there, but I heard, that he got killed. She goes, yeah, he did. Um, he testified in Cyrus's hearing to get Cyrus out of Pentonville. I'm just looking up information on that. And he goes, Jocelyn, you're not digging into this whole Cyrus thing still. And she's like, I'm not going to do anything. And I'm like, see, you're lying through your teeth, girl. You're lying to your teeth, through your teeth. And he's Carly's brother. He should be able to see, oh, she lying like her mama. Mama lied to you in a heartbeat, right? So anyway, that's that whole mess. And we have I said Jace tells Lois. Lois goes to Martin, meets Martin in his hotel room, and she says she needs to hire him. So she pays him his retainer and she tells the whole story. Now, this is the most we've heard of the whole story, but we already have figured it out. Yes, Brooklyn, she goes 21 years ago, got pregnant, family didn't know, and the baby's father, because he goes, well, she goes, is there any way that secret could ever come out? He goes, well, I'm sure the child knows he's adopted. The child could come and want to look for his mother. She goes, no, the child does not know he's adopted. And he was like, wait a minute. How would you know? Have you had contact with this child? And she says, well, matter of fact, I'm living with the child's living with us, the young man. She goes, his name is Geo, whatever Geo's name is, right? And Martin just looks at her. She goes, and here's the thing, Dante doesn't know. Olivia, who is Dante's mother, who is married to my ex-husband, Brooklyn's father, who is my best friend, she never knew. And he says, and the child's grandfather is Sonny Corinthos. He never knew. If all of these people found out, a lot of lives would be changed and a lot of things could be destroyed, you know, would be destroyed. This secret could never come out. And Martin's just looking at her and he says, well, it hasn't come out in 21 years. Why, like what makes you think it'll come out now? And she said, because Brooklyn and Chase, blah, 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 trying to have a baby and Chase can't. And now this is bringing up in Brooklyn thoughts of her first child. And she was considering looking for this child. She says, I have to know if Brooklyn, because it was a private adoption, if Brooklyn wants to look for this child, will she be able to get the records unsealed? And Martin said, yeah, she definitely could. And so Lois was saying, yeah, she arranged for a close family friend to adopt the baby. And she, pretty much been around her grandchild the whole time, but denying everybody else in the family the opportunity to know Geo as family. They just knew him as de facto neighborhood family. You family like the Figueroas down the street of family. Not you are really our blood. I mean, that's gonna be a hot mess when it comes out. Well, Tracy knocks on the door because Tracy had gone to the gatehouse and Brooklyn told her, which guess what? Brooklyn is talking to Geo. Geo came to bring a stuffed animal of what's that little girl's name? Amelia. And they had already left, of course. And so he and Brooklyn were talking because she's blaming herself. She made it worse, and he's like, "Nah, you didn't make it worse. She probably was gonna leave anyway." And Tracy came and says, "Okay, I came to make sure Willow understands, the rules. Where is she?" And that's when Brooklyn said, "I think I made it worse. I talked to her, and it didn't go very well, and she took the kids and left." And Tracy looks at her. She goes, "Well, she was gonna probably leave anyway." She said, and you talked to her, I know, nicer than I was going to talk to her. So it's not your fault that she left. And Tracy looks around and I thought, watch, Tracy is going to put Sasha in that place. Which, good, put Sasha there. Willow needs to know Sasha is there. Oh, she definitely does. So anyway, um, Tracy says, it's time to call the lawyers, right? She walks out the house. And I'm like, yep, you know what, Tracy? You need to get things rocking and rolling. You really do. Uh, because I'm surprised Carly has it. But Carly doesn't know that Willow moved out. So she wouldn't know. But I'm sorry. To me, the Michael, they should have had Michael locking some other stuff down when he's in and out of his coma. You know, he could have Diane on standby. So anyway, let's see. Tracy leaves. She goes to the main house. Dante and Chase are still talking, and she wants them to. You go. You two are cops. Go find out how Drew got in here, even though he was banned. And so she goes, find out, how Yuri fell down on the job. And my whole thing is Yuri was probably busy bringing Monica some tea. you know, Most of the time they say Yuri is standing guard by Monica's door. So how is he in two places at once, right? They should have somebody at the little guard shack looking. So Chase says, well, okay, you know what, Dante? I'm going to go parole the perimeter to see where in the fence Drew hopped to get in. And Dante's like, well, looks like since I don't have a job, I'm going to come with you. So they go. Um, and that's where they end up at the gatehouse and uh, say they want to speak to Willow. And Brooklyn lets them know Willow left and took the kids. And Chase says, you know what? I take back what I said earlier. Perhaps if Willow had been honest from the beginning with Michael, about starting to have feelings for Drew and blah blah blah. She goes, this whole mess wouldn't be like this. And so Dante says, yeah, lies always come back. You try to cover it up, it always comes to light. And Brooklyn is standing there. Yeah, because now we got Brooklyn, Geo, and baby daddy Dante right there in the same room. But Brooklyn doesn't know that. Don't know Geo's her son, never asked him his date of birth because it'll be the same day she gave birth to that baby. And Dante, of course, has no clue. So that's going to be that. Now we have Tracy. Remember how I said the soap is not funny? While Lois was there, Tracy knocked on the door. Oh, she comes in ranting and raving, saying, if you think that your client's gonna get away with taking the kids, and he goes, her kids. And then, of course, the exchange between him and Tracy, I do think they're Kim testing those two. Sniped at each other again. And so she goes, Lois, what are you doing here? She says, I came to talk to him about the same thing you talking to him about. So she's on Tracy's side, and another thing that is not right. Her being in Michael, she jumped on and she pivoted, and Martin knew she was pivoting because she didn't want Tracy to know. So anyway, he tells Tracy. Tracy says, she goes, "Come on, Tracy, let's go." And so Tracy says, "You haven't heard the last of me." And then he says something like, "Yeah, I know, but unless I see you first." And he goes, "Get it?" And Tracy looks up like in the air, like, see first. And look, I'm looking up in the air with Tracy saying, unless I see you first. How's that supposed to be a joke, right? And so he goes, oh, just get on out. You don't get it. that was funny. I laughed at that. I thought because that was a bad joke, and Tracy was trying to figure that out, and she didn't get it. But he shooed her on out his place, and Lois comes back, and they finish their conversation. Um, let's see. Now I'm going to end with Nina and Drew. She tells Drew that because he just shows up at her door. I thought Drew was supposed to be a congressman, supposed to be working, supposed to be doing something with fellow congressmen, right? In DC. Whatever. And she goes, how dare you show up here? And she goes, Willow texted me, told me she moved back in over here and asked me to come by. And he walks right past Nina, and Willow's looking. So she goes, oh, I forgot to put the nightlight on for Amelia. I'll be right back. So she goes, in the back. And Nina looks and she goes, she says a few words to him. And he's just looking at her. And she goes, you need to leave Willow alone. She needs time to think. She goes, as a matter of fact, before you got here, she was starting to rethink her actions regarding Michael. And Drew just looks at her and she goes, and why haven't you moved to Washington, D.C.? And Drew says, if I move away, I'm taking Willow and her kids with me. And so Nina looks at him and she said, I will do anything for my daughter and to protect my daughter and my grandchildren from you. And she go something about, and if you don't believe me, try me. Something she said. I forget her last final words. And then Willow comes from the back room. Is everything okay in here? And Nina turns to Willow. Fine. She goes, Nina, can I have a word alone with Drew? And Nina goes, fine. I'll be in my room if you need me. And she walks out. Oh. So Willow says to Drew, you know, Drew, I've been thinking. What happened this afternoon at the gatehouse should not have happened. We should not have disrespected Michael in that manner in his home. And Drew says, I completely agree. I completely agree. Now you the son of a that scaled the fence to get that pizza, but oh, I completely agree. She said, so I just have to let you know that should not have happened that way. But you sure were willing to do it, right? And so he goes, but you know, and he close to her, you know, it's not fair to anyone. Especially, it's not fair to Michael if we deny our feelings for one another. And she's looking at him, and he puts her hair behind her little ear as if it needed it, right? And as he's doing it, she's like, it's not fair. And so she's like, and she goes, unless you no longer want to be with me. Oh no. Of course. Of course I want to be with you. And, she goes up to him, puts her arms around his neck, and is kissing him. And I thought, see, Willow. Okay. So Nina comes back out and she peeks and she sees them kissing. And she's just like, so she goes around the corner and she calls Carly. So Carly gets up from the table. Cut my finger here, y'all, when I was cooking dinner. Carly gets up from the table to answer the phone. She goes, what do you want, Nina? She goes, we got to talk. And we got to talk about we got to put a stop to a common enemy. It's going to be good for them to have that conversation. Oh, it's going to be good. But let's see how much ammo Nina gives Carly. Because Carly don't mind being the bad girl. She don't mind it whatsoever, being the bad girl. So that part's going to be interesting to see those two team up. That's going to be interesting. Well, all right, everybody. That's all that interests me today. We did have a scene with Portia and Curtis. Fast forward. Um, I did hear Brad. See, Brad is getting ridiculous. Oh, my trainer had to move up our appointment today. Can I leave early? Oh, see, she need to pull him back in the back room. Say, you know what? Let me tell you something. You don't get to leave early to go feed the birds. to go get your hair done, to go do Brad. Yeah, no, mm-mm. You pushing it, buddy. You are pushing it, and you've already pushed it too far. So anyway, Curtis went to go have a word with Brad. I don't care about that. So anyway, anybody in comment corner that caught all that, you could go ahead and put all that in comment corner. I don't care. you know. So anyway, I'm gonna get my trusty dusty stopwatch on. And today is the bottom up. The bottom up on comment corner. So here we go. Let me bring up comment corner. All right, here we go. Make it big. We have Alicia says Drew obviously never heard of the pot and the kettle. Lashunta says Drew's always deflecting. He loves taking the shine off him. Um, where is Diane at? I want to know that too. Where is Diane? Willow's just gone. I blame Nina. She had plenty of opportunity to open her eyes up to that snake. Cody, do know Cy. Why haven't he told that he took the money? Oh, he took the money. He did take the money from Drew, but you know what? So what? So what? Uh Alicia says to Lashunta, I hate to say I'm kind of liking this Drew. At least he has personality. Well, if you look at it that way, yeah. They gave him a low down, dirty dog personality versus that bland Boy Scout personality. Okay. I still can't stand it. Sportszilla says Carly just went full uh, mama bear mode in her place of business in front of 8 of the most important of these two storylines. And Anna, you supposed to arrest that cult leader for trespassing and breaking and entering. Drew's not a cult leader. Let's see. Alicia says Drew doesn't know that Anna loves her criminals, especially the men. She's even back on track with Sonny. LOL. I know, right? That is so true. Michelle says, fact, I wouldn't be surprised if she snitches on his ASS to Sonny and Jason. I know. I think she would too. Alicia says to Michelle, she doesn't have to. Drew is already on Sonny's radar, uh, given what he's done to his favorite child. And then Chrissy says she's absolutely telling Jason. Um, yeah, Sonny's health just hasn't been in order for him to react the way he normally reacts to things, right? Lucy says, awesome. Love the video clip. Thanks, recap lady, for all you do. You're welcome, Lucy. Alicia says Tracy needs to take several seats when it comes to children. Michelle says, yep, the scumbag Drew was literally saying that Jason forced Sasha. He sure was. He definitely was. Drew should know how force looks because dude has been forcing himself onto Willow every chance he got. In fact, the fact that she's so gullible to realize that she is Drew's prey. Yeah, even when she would stay away from me, Drew. No, I know. You said it, and I don't mean anything. I just had to see that you're okay. I'm fine, Drew. Just leave me alone. No, I know. Okay, I'm gonna go. But if you ever need anything, Alicia says, to be fair, we don't really know how much time Drew spends with Scout. For example, Ava wants custody of Avery. Uh, when was the last time we saw them together? Where they don't really show us people with their kids because they don't want to pay to have them on set. Just asking because I rarely watch. Um, Scout would be in school during the day, but what we're saying is Drew is always out. So when school is out, where's his daughter? Because he's staying in a hotel, the Cosmopolitan. Where is his daughter? He doesn't say, I got to go pick up Scout from ballet lessons. He doesn't say that. He doesn't say, oh, Scout's having a play date. Scout just don't exist, right? And Alicia says, I don't know when Tracy had time to raise anything except H-LL in Monica's house. She was always there. Where was Dylan? And son Ned slept with Monica. So Tracy, so sick, Tracy. Well, Tracy said I wasn't the best of mothers. And then Alicia says, I still think Drew's brain got scrambled in Pentonville. I just can't get too mad at him. Well, I could get mad enough for the both of us, Alicia. I'm mad enough for the two of us, okay? And then Alicia says, Sasha is young enough to be Jason's daughter. Yes, she is. Um, and then Cooking with Monica says, Jason does not know yet. Oh, you're talking about Sam, I know. Yeah, they just talked about that today. Dacia says she's never slept with Jason Morgan. It's not Jason Morgan's baby. Oh yeah, well, we all know that that's not Jason's baby. It's Michael's. Um, Ayunda, or is it Darcy? Sorry if I mispronounced your whole name there. Says get the Vaseline Sasha. I don't understand that part. Get the Vaseline Sasha. And then Jackie was the laughy smiley faces. And Melody says, but y'all notice Sasha just won't say. No, it's not Jason's. They're setting it up to keep up the ruse for a later story. I think they are. But Tracy, surprised by Tracy's reaction. Oh, you were surprised. And then J Girl says, Tracy believes the baby may be a Quartermain. She will protect it. Yeah, I think Tracy thinks it's a Quartermain baby. Dacia says, Willow will lose custody of her children. Drew loses Congress office. They will kick him out of office. And then Ayanda says to P. Murrow, I'm with you. I can't wait with Willow. I can't with Willow either. Her twin lied and told Michael their son was dead. Willow literally screwed him over with his uncle, and their mama kept his parents apart. Those three witches, ugh. Michael's a great husband and father. He can be ruthless only when necessary, but very loyal and still a good guy. Looking forward to seeing Willow's house of cards fall. Me too. I honestly can't wait. Oh, but this is all attached to P. Merle's comment saying Maxie should be considered quite a traitor when she helps Drew and Willow set up house. I can't believe Willow doesn't have the blatant disrespect or wait, doesn't see the blatant disrespect that she's showing the cues. Did she really say her home, the home that she shared with Michael, her husband, who's fighting for his life? Who is this woman? Drew not only wait, Drew did not single-handedly rescue Liesel and save her life. Where is the undying loyalty for the rest of the crew who also saved the world, not just her life? That is so true. And then Lisa says, Drew made her think he did it on his own. He didn't talk about anyone else helping bring Aunt Liesel back. Drew left the tie on purpose. He is such a jerk, acting like he's all normal for him to sleep with his niece, or like it's all normal for him to sleep with his niece. He wants Jason to be arrested. I'm glad Anna left him sitting alone. His plan didn't work. And then Jackie says, you notice Drew didn't tell Maxie he's setting up home for Willow and the kids. He's not telling Willow either. No, he's not. Uh, but you know what she'll do? She'll love it. She'll she'll go right along with it, even though she'll feel a little funny, just a little, but she'll still do it. And then Ay- Ayada says, no, Jason's doesn't know Sam was murdered. Lulu wanted to tell him at the restaurant when she saw him meeting with Diane, but Maxie told her, no, you're right. You are right. DL says, I can I can already see it. Who shot Drew storyline. I know, but I hate those who done it. I really, really do. Angie says, was it Spencer who woke Drew up? It was Spencer who woke Drew up back then. You know what? You're probably right. It was Spencer because Spencer was running around, right? Just K says, Lizo. See, it was one of the two. You know what? One of those two. And then Ayandra says Laura Wright is an actress that can create chemistry with anyone. She and Marla, that's Ava, are so good. Those guiding light vets uh, be bringing it. Yeah, you know what? Ava can hook up with anybody too, can't she? That is so true. Ava can hook it up. I'm past 10 minutes, everybody, for comment corner. Thanks for commenting. Everybody finish reading. Like, look, 100 comments. Comment corner. You all are doing a phenomenally fascinating job. Thank you so much for all the comments. And comment on today's episode, whatever I missed, or say what you like the most. Um, if you want to go in depth on Curtis and Portia and whoever else I missed there, go right ahead because that way everybody can get more of a full view of what happened at General Hospital. I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, it's a cliffhanger Friday for us tomorrow.